Without Garnetta Annable, there would be no open space authority. There would be no 30,000 acres of open space. There would be no effort to protect our agricultural lands for local food.
Bicycling took me all through Santa Clara County. We would ride from San Jose down to Gilroy, and we would ride out Gilroy Hot Springs Road, and we saw the beauty of the nature out there. I visited just about every park via riding a bicycle.
I bet I only know a fraction of the positions and the important roles that Garnetta has played in the Santa Clara Valley over the last 30 years.
On the Cambrian Community Council.
She was a leader with the League of Conservation Voters.
A parks plan for Santa Clara County.
The Santa Clara County Greenbelt Coalition.
The County Parks Commission.
The county's Trail and Pathways Committee.
Citizens Advisory Committee in the Open Space Authority.
Founding member of the Bay Area Ridge Trail Council.
Board member of the Santa Clara Valley Open Space Authority.
She was very, very active in her community in the Cambrian area of San Jose.
She came to the San Jose Parks Commission because she wanted a baseball diamond for her son.
The legislation to create the Open Space Authority.
Efforts to provide funding for the authority so it can hire staff and acquire the reauthorization of the Parks Charter Fund.
And when you put those together, Garnetta has been responsible for helping to secure millions of dollars for parks and open space in Santa Clara County.
Well, my childhood in Lansing, California began about 1955 when I was about 9 years old. And my parents bought 27 acres. We would take hikes across the fields and catch crawdads, and we would go out on the delta to pick blackberries. So we had a quarter horse and we had the pony, and we would race. Well, we had wonderful neighbors, and they had a pump. We would all go down to the pond where the pump was, and that was our jacuzzi. We would go out to the levees and just enjoy being out. It just was a way of life and entertainment.
When you get to know Garnetta, you realize that she's motivated by a pure heart, a desire to do good for both people and for the planet.
Her work protecting open space created a significant sense of purpose in her life.
My son had gone off to college. I was unfortunately unexpected widowed. So for me, all of these needs gave me purpose.
The reason she was so dedicated and worked so hard at it was because of her belief in the importance of preserving what was left for future generations.
Even though I don't know the future children that are going to live here, to know that we've created a place for them that'll be in perpetuity.
She's been around and been involved for so many things for so long that she knows the players, she knows the issues, she knows the procedures by which decisions are made.
When she spoke, you knew she had something important to say, and it was backed with her experience, with facts.
She does her homework. She comes to the meetings prepared. She's always asking good questions.
Garnetta was especially important to the Open Space Authority because she bridged that period from before it existed all the way until the time it was a vibrant agency that had purchased a lot of land.
Garnetta was calm, patient, collaborative, persistent.
Kind of relentless, like water dripping on a rock.
Persistence is essential because victories do not come easy, and they can take years, and they can take many, many efforts.
It took 4 attempts to get the Open Space Authority signed into law, but she was right there leading that effort.
We knew she wasn't going to ever give up, so she really ended up getting her way when there was something that meant a lot to her.
She brings people together that need to be, that need to be in touch with one another, especially newcomers to her, involved in an issue with public policy for the first time.
And since she did it very subtly, have you heard about this? Have you learned about that? So she took us from being frustrated about something that was going on into the community and figured out a way to include us and help us learn to be better community leaders.
She was a strategist. When she wanted to get something accomplished, she thought it through. She thought about people she needed to contact to make it happen.
I would say she has something akin to a digital Rolodex in her head. And she has remembered everyone and every role they ever played.
You have to know where people are on this particular issue, who's potentially interested, who would never be engaged. And she had a knack for finding this out about people.
I might be thinking about, I wonder who does that and how they might be connected, and Garnetta just knows.
She knew the mayor, she knew everybody else, and she could make a telephone call that would really have impact.
She's so kind in how she presents her point of view, and she's so open to finding connection.
She listens to people, and if you can listen to people and understand what they're really saying, it makes it easier.
She's not just a table pounder, she's someone who wants to bring about creative and constructive solutions, collaborative solutions. And
during these very tough discussions between the farmers and the developers and the environmentalists that pervaded the 70s and 80s, she was the calm voice in the storm.
Yeah, Garnetta is a gentle warrior.
But make no mistake, and at your peril, you will underestimate Garnetta Annable.
She knew how to sit down, and she was sweet as pie and would negotiate with you. You'd think that you were getting her to give. No, you were learning to give what she wanted.
She is one of those people in the background who really makes things happen.
But she did it in such a quiet way that she didn't stand out as being the only person up there leading the charge.
Almost all the people that I've met over my 50 years in politics have been involved because their ego needed to have that reassurance. I'm one of those. Garnetta was not.
One would think she would expect, or one of her stature would expect, a statue or a building named after her.
But I see absolutely no evidence that Garnetta has ever cared about recognition.
And that's one reason why it's so wonderful that we can celebrate her.
It's really quite an honor for the Sierra Club to award me the Guardian of Nature. It's a surprise, it's a shock, but it makes me remember and go back and recollect about how in my very first campaigns, one of the organizations that I could reach out to that I knew was there was a Sierra Club.
I'm very moved trying to think of the essence of Garnetta. I think she is one of the truly good people.
There is a timeless quality about Garnetta. If age were not an issue, I think Garnetta's to-do list would just keep going on and on for decades.
I'm not going to be on the board. I'm not going to be on the Citizen Advisory. I'm going to be out there as a warrior, as a crusader.
We often don't get the opportunity or the gift to say directly to the person who plays such an amazing role in our life. And so I just want to take the opportunity to say, Garnetta, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much.